Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ya, tuan-tuan dan puan, selamat menghadiri mengikuti siri webinar daripada SSTP JB PKL seterusnya. So, kita akan bersiaran selama sejam dari 2:30 petang ini sehingga ke 3:30 petang. Okey, tuan-tuan dan puan, bersama saya pada kali ini ataupun sesi kali ini adalah Puan Annzuleedia Binti Mohamad, Ketua Penolong Pengarah Sektor Sumber dan Teknologi Pendidikan. Datang Puan Okey, kemudiannya bersama kita juga orang Microsoft Puan Annzuleedia Binti Mohamad, Education Lead Microsoft Malaysia. Datang Puan. Okey, seterusnya tak lain dan tak bukan Muhammad Zulhilmi Binti Mohamad, Encik Muhammad Zulhilmi Binti Mohamad daripada Education Department Microsoft Malaysia. Dan juga penceramah kita pada petang ini Puan Annzuleedia Binti Mohamad SIP Plus daripada PPD Pekan yang juga merupakan MI Trainer dan Mentor. Okey, selamat datang semua.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Okey, sebelum kita mulakan sesi pada petang ini, ini merupakan sesi terakhir kita bersama Microsoft Malaysia untuk sepanjang minggu inilah kita panggil marathon webinar yang bermula daripada minggu lepas lagi lah, sejak MKN isytiharkan 3 kawasan Putrajaya dan juga Kuala Lumpur diletakkan bawah PKPB. Jadi SSTP JPUKL mengambil inisiatif ini untuk satu pengisian lah secara online kepada guru-guru kita. Jadi untuk tidak membuang masa, kita majlis menjemput Puan Annzuleedia Binti Mohamad sebagai tuan rumah lah tuan rumah untuk sesi webinar kita ini. Okey, untuk menyampaikan ucapan. Silakan Puan.
Okey, terima kasih dan selamat petang kepada semua Puan Syida, kita Cik Fuzul dan cikgu kita. Okey, dan juga cikgu yang tengah menonton ni. Jadi memang minggu ni memang kita marathon untuk upskilling lah dan knowledge sharing bersama dengan cikgu-cikgu kita dan juga pegawai-pegawai di jabatan dan juga di PPD. Jadi saya daripada pihak JPWPKL lah mengucapkan banyak terima kasih atas kerjasama yang diberikan oleh Microsoft dan juga jadi kita pun ada jugalah yang lain-lain cikgu yang berkongsi dalam ni. Dan saya rasa marathon ni memanglah dalam minggu ni sampai orang pun kata pagi, petang sampai malam sekali kita bersiaran untuk membagi untuk buat pengisian lah kepada cikgu-cikgu kita supaya ilmu ni dapat dikongsi, terutama dalam sekolah ni, penutupan sekolah, tetapi walaupun sekolah tutup PDP masih perlu dilaksanakan. Jadi kita ada highlight juga walaupun pada ni kira marathon untuk minggu ini, dan pada minggu hadapan insyaAllah kita akan bersiaran dengan yang quite fun juga dengan murid-murid kita pula. Dan saya juga mengambil kesempatan ini untuk mengucapkan terima kasih kepada semua yang telah memberi kerjasama dan juga menyokong serta membantu kita dalam meningkatkan perkongsian ilmu kepada semua kita punya warga pendidik. Itu sajalah, jadi saya serahkan kepada Cik Hafiz lah dan seterusnya. Terima kasih.
Okey, terima kasih Puan. Okey. Seterusnya kita jemput daripada Microsoft Puan Annzuleedia Binti Mohamad untuk menyampaikan ucapan. Silakan.
Terima kasih Cik Hafiz. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera kepada Puan Annzuleedia Binti Abdul Latif, Ketua Penolong Pengarah Sektor Sumber dan Teknologi Pendidikan Jabatan Pendidikan Wilayah Kuala Lumpur, Encik Ahmad Hafiz bin Abdul Ghani, Penolong Pengarah Sektor Sumber dan Teknologi Pendidikan Jabatan Pendidikan Wilayah dan Kuala Lumpur. Saya mewakili pihak Microsoft Malaysia ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih dan syabas kepada seluruh tenaga kerja SSTP wilayah yang diterajui oleh Puan Nur Nailah dalam menjayakan penganjuran dan pelaksanaan webinar pengajaran dan pembelajaran di rumah, iaitu PDPR di kalangan guru-guru. Pada kesempatan ini, saya bagi pihak Microsoft ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada semua guru-guru yang hadir dan sentiasa memberikan sokongan dalam kehadiran sepanjang sesi webinar berlangsung. Semoga objektif utama webinar PDPR ini dapat tercapai untuk membantu guru-guru kita bermula dengan pembelajaran kawalan jauh, iaitu remote learning, terutamanya di Kuala Lumpur dan negeri-negeri yang mengalami penutupan sekolah akibat penularan COVID-19. Bagi pihak Microsoft, kami juga ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih sekali lagi kepada Cik Hafiz dan Puan Nailah kerana memberi kami kesempatan untuk membawa penceramah yang arif dan berpengalaman daripada komuniti Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert, iaitu MIE Expert, yang bukannya dari KL sahaja ya, tapi mereka ni daripada pelosok tanah air bagi membuat perkongsian tentang penggunaan teknologi Microsoft, khususnya untuk pengajaran dan pembelajaran di rumah. Oleh itu, pada kesempatan ini saya ingin mengajak semua untuk mengucapkan terima kasih kepada 6 orang guru MIE expert kita yang hebat-hebat ini kerana sudi mengambil bahagian dalam berkongsi ilmu dan teknik PDPR mereka semasa Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan Bersyarat PKPB. Kita ada cikgu Cikgu Jenny daripada sekolah jenis kebangsaan Cina Pinhua 2. Kita ada Cikgu Nur Rawaidah Rahmat daripada Sekolah Menengah Pendidikan Vokasional Merbuk Kedah. Kita juga ada Ustaz Arsyadi Tazli daripada Sekolah Kebangsaan Taman Bukit Indah Johor Bahru. Kita juga ada 3 orang guru lagi, iaitu Cikgu Muhammad Khairi bin Ustaz Khairi bin Khairul Anwar. Ni orang kampung saya ni daripada Sekolah Kebangsaan Jimah Baru, PD. Kita ada Kak N. Kak N daripada PPD Pekan. Dan seorang lagi, kita ada seorang lagi, Cikgu Nur Faizah binti Ahmad daripada College Matrikulasi Negeri Sembilan, orang kampung saya juga. Alright, so terima kasih cikgu kerana meluangkan masa untuk berkongsi ilmu dengan semua pendidik di bukan sahaja memang inisiatif ni dijayakan dan di lead ya oleh JPWPKL, tetapi kita kongsikan dengan semua warga, guru, pendidik di Malaysia. Cikgu-cikgu, apa yang kita tanam, itu yang akan kita tuai. Semoga usaha sama di antara pihak KPM menerusi SSTP wilayah Persekutuan KL dan Microsoft Malaysia ini dapat berterusan untuk membantu para guru melaksanakan pengajaran dan pembelajaran di rumah sebagai alternatif pembelajaran norma baru. Dengan kata-kata itu, maka saya akhiri ucapan saya pada hari ini dengan kalimah wabillahi taufik wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum.
Okey. Salam. Terima kasih Puan Syida ya. Okey. Okey, kita akan teruskan sesi pada petang ini ya, dengan menjemput Kak N ataupun kita panggil Miss N SIP Plus daripada PPD Pekan ya, yang juga merupakan MIE trainer dan juga ataupun MIE expert lah. Okey, untuk menyampaikan tajuk Using Collaboration Space in Microsoft Teams to Teach Writing. Okey, dipersilakan Kak N.
Alright, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. So izinkan saya share screen. Okey, nampak skrin saya?
Okey, nampak.
Okey, alhamdulillah. Okey, terima kasih kepada moderator kita pada petang ini, Encik Hafiz daripada SSTP. So, terima kasih juga kepada KPP, SSTP, JPWP KL, Puan Nur Nailah binti Abdul Latif, juga kepada Puan Syida Zainal Abidin daripada Microsoft Malaysia, dan kita punya Sifu Encik Zulhilmi Ahmad kerana memberi ruang dan peluang kepada saya dan rakan-rakan lain berkongsi sedikit pengalaman yang kami adalah. Okay. So insyaAllah pada petang yang mulia ini, marilah sama-sama kita mulakan sesi ini dengan bacaan Al-Fatihah. Semoga sesi kita ini diberkati olehnya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amin. So, okay. Saya akan menggunakan dua bahasa lah insyaAllah. Okay, so sebelum kita mulakan the session proper, sedikit webinar etiket. So mana-mana tuan-tuan dan puan-puan di luar sana yang ada soalan ataupun sebarang komen yang hendak diajukan, bolehlah cikgu-cikgu sekalian type di ruang chat di dalam YouTube. Okay, alright. Semua bahan yang telah dipersembahkan oleh ke-6 presenter ini akan cikgu-cikgu boleh download lah di website yang kami yang tertera. Okay, so hari ini saya akan menggunakan sharing using collaboration space in Microsoft Teams to teach writing. Okay, alright. So tak kenal maka tak cinta. So a little bit about myself, alright. So my name is Annzuleedia Binti Mohamad. Orang kata nama ni unik sikit, susah nak pronounce, itulah nama yang diberi. So but majority of my students and colleagues call me Miss Ann. I am NSISC Plus Bahasa from PPD Pekan, okay, Bandar Diraja. MIE trainer for 2019 and 2020, dan alhamdulillah baru saja dapat badge untuk MIE expert 2021. So that's a little bit of motivation for me lah. So once we get acknowledgement daripada an institution, so we have to do our bit in rising up to the occasion. Okay, alright. Educational background, I did my first degree in TESOL in Murray House College of Education, Edinburgh, Scotland. Selama 6 tahun duduk sana. And then 10 years later, I did my second degree, my master's for TESOL in UPM. My favorite tools, okay, for Microsoft product are Teams, OneNote dan Sway. And Microsoft course yang favorite saya ialah Teams. Okay. Alright, that's about me, but today is not about me. It's about sharing what I have with you, with all the teachers out there. So I'll try to stick to the schedule here. So introduction done. So we'll spend about 30 minutes looking at how we can use collaboration space in Microsoft Teams in teaching writing. Because to teach writing remotely is quite difficult and quite challenging. Okay, 10 minutes for sharing what I did and what I am doing at the district level. Then we have wrap up and Q&A. Okay, first question, a point to ponder for everybody is that how do we teachers bring the face-to-face learning experience to our virtual classroom? Okay, sangat-sangat challenging kepada cikgu-cikgu yang di luar sana yang ada pelbagai masalah. Jadi cabaran kita ialah macam mana kita nak menghidupkan kita punya virtual class kita sebagaimana yang berlaku dalam face-to-face punya classroom. Alright, sebagai SISC Plus, I am going to look at from the pedagogical side of it. What happens in the classroom. Rakan-rakan kami yang berlima sebelum ini sharing apps, macam mana dengan murid dan so on, tapi I'm more how to help teachers to help them. Okay, so kita sebagai cikgu, kita tak boleh lari daripada DSKP dan HSP. Okay, sebab itulah dokumen penting yang mana kita kena refer setiap kali kita plan. So the first thing that we have to do is at the planning stage. Kita kena fikirkan what are the learning objectives, what are the success criteria that we want our students to achieve. Okay, alright. So yang kedua, okay, the second thing that we have to think about, are we going to have the class synchronous or asynchronous? So synchronous ni bermaksud real time, semua serentak belajar perkara yang sama pada masa yang sama. Asynchronous bermaksud kita memberi ruang dan masa untuk murid menyelesaikan tugasan dalam masa yang berbeza. Mungkin seminggu, mungkin 2 minggu. Tetapi monitoring must be done. So coming back to the question, so macam mana kita nak engage our students in our virtual classroom? So that relates to our activities. Should we do the activities in terms of individual, pair work or group work? Cikgu-cikgu di luar sana mesti terfikir macam mana kita nak buat pair work sedangkan all our students are all miles away. Okay, yang tu yang kita nak buat di dalam Microsoft Teams sebab dia ada ruang collaboration space di mana students from all over the place can be in one space at the same time. Okay, alright. Kita juga kena fikirkan masa, kesesuaian masa yang sesuai untuk murid-murid menghadapi kelas secara online. BPSH telah mengeluarkan satu manual. Kalau selama ini kita dengar PDPC, PDP, tetapi yang baru, yang terkini ialah PDPR, pengajaran dan pembelajaran di rumah. So mana-mana cikgu kat luar sana, you can scan the QR code, kita boleh download terus manual. So di dalam manual tersebut, disebut tentang untuk prasekolah 1 jam, okay, sehari untuk tempoh melayari internet ataupun kelas secara online. Sekolah rendah 1 hingga 2 jam, sekolah menengah rendah 2 hingga 3 jam, the upper forms 3 to 4 hours. So when we plan our lesson, we have to think of our lesson personally. Is it going to last for 1 hour, 45 minutes or so? Okay, just like normal class, we have to plan well. And then we have to ask ourselves, how are we going to serve our students? Dan nombor 7, bagi cikgu-cikgu yang baru hendak mencuba remote learning, perhaps a trial run is a good idea for you to do. Because kita tak tahu apa yang terjadi secara online. Okay, so a trial run will be a good thing to do. So that is at the planning stage. Okay, so at the implementation stage, kita kena tengok secara teknikal. Macam mana kita nak buat live stream, macam mana kita nak mengajar murid-murid kita menggunakan Teams. Alright, so that one I will touch when we go, when I explain further. And then number 2 will be the classroom management. It looks like it is very trivial, but as teachers, you need to teach our students how to carry themselves online. There are certain etiquettes that needs to be followed. So maybe as teachers, you can provide one slide how the students should behave, respect others, no name calling whatsoever. And the other one is the attendance. Right? So whenever we go online, we need to have the proof of who are online, who are not, so that we can do follow-up activities for those who are not able to be online for certain days. Now, on Microsoft Teams, I will show you afterwards how we can download the students' attendance list from the apps itself. Okay, and please, teachers, do not forget to share your learning objectives and success criteria with your students so that they are aware what they're supposed to be learning for the day. And we as teachers, nak tak nak, we cannot run away from monitoring our students and giving feedback to them. Okay, alright. So, classroom management tadi saya cakap, right. So, sebagai cikgu nanti, you need to have certain things that you need to explain to your students lah. Bagi mereka yang pertama kali menggunakan Microsoft Teams, mungkin you need to spend some time on getting the students to familiarize themselves with all these icons and how to go about using Microsoft Teams. Ini adalah class notebook di mana secara automatic by default Microsoft class notebook dia akan ada 4 space yang diberikan kepada kita. Yang pertama sekali is what we call collaboration space. Di sini you can collaborate where the teachers can edit, the students as well can edit. Content library, normally I would put certain materials here, and just like library, they cannot edit, they can only view. So for teacher only space ini, what we can do, let's say certain teachers have undergoing certain projects, so we can collaborate di situ. For students, by default, dia akan provide, the system akan provide 4 folder, homework, quizzes, handout, class notebook. Tapi the teachers, you can edit or add if you don't want certain things. Okay, so the students need to familiarize themselves with this, and then during the live streaming, mungkin the teachers need to teach the students how to handle this icon. So kalau kita tengok the top icon here, what you can do here is the list of the students. So macam saya kata tadi, if you want to download the name of the students' attendance, you just click here and it will be downloaded to your drive. Okay, this is the chat like normal. Kat mana-mana pun ada chat, but we don't encourage the students to use this. Okay, because most of the time when they chat, they are not listening to the lesson. Okay, this is the feature, raise your hand. A very useful feature where kalau students ada soalan, dia boleh direct angkat tangan secara virtual and then we can address the person immediately. Of course, this one record, we don't encourage students to turn on the mic and the camera while they are online unless they have questions. And then this arrow here is for them to share the screen if they have anything to display or to share with the rest of the class. Okay, now, in teaching writing, okay, our problems as English teachers would normally be, number one, our students do not have any ideas what to write. Number two, my students don't have the vocabulary. So when we carry out our remote learning, our online class, we have to bear in mind these are the things that we have to support them with. Okay, so some suggested activity using the collaboration space would be, number one would be brainstorming for ideas based on a stimulus. So normally this one will be done individually, but they will be working in one space. Okay, so that is synchronous. And then perhaps the next activity could be, we need to generate the vocabulary so that they have the foundation, the support that they need in order for them to write their essay. It doesn't have to be essay, but it can be something short, okay? But the support must be given to them. So this one can be done synchronously. The third activity, if you notice, this activity is to generate idea. This activity will be at vocabulary level. And then, of course, we need to share whatever the student have. And then activity 4 will be based on sentence expansion. So from brainstorming the ideas, going on to generating vocab and the sentence. And then, of course, we can have an extension of the essay writing proper. And this can be done asynchronously. Okay, so a combination of synchronous and asynchronous activities. Okay, so don't forget, at the beginning of the lesson, please share your learning outcomes, your learning objectives, and your success criteria with your students. And don't forget, at the end of the session, do go back to these success criteria to see whether the students have been able to successfully do their task. Okay, right, now, for the first activity, the brainstorming activity. So what we normally do is that, so we click at the collaboration space. Secondly, we click the next folder using the collaboration space. And then here are a series of activities that I have shared with the students in the collaboration space. So what we need to do next is that sebab dia ada banyak folder, so direct the students to which folder that they should refer to. So kat sini saya akan guna brainstorming 2. Alright. So in order to generate ideas, the collaboration space is very, very useful. Sebabnya, okay, kita boleh insert apa-apa jenis stimulus pun. Di sini saya letakkan gambar, okay. But you can also put videos, you can download from the internet and so on. One thing about Microsoft Teams is that you don't have to go out of the system in order for you to find materials from YouTube. Alright, so what you can do is click up here and then find the apps that you want, YouTube, and then you can search from there and then you can download. So that's one thing good about Teams. Alright, so coming back to this one. So kita dah letak gambar kat sini, kita nak semua murid kita generate ideas ataupun come up with as many words as possible based on the picture below. Okay, so what the students need to do is everybody will go back to this one. So cari yang ni and then cari ruang ni. See all the space given here. Kat sinilah murid-murid kita boleh letakkan idea mereka. So yang ni yang murid-murid saya dah buat lah. Now, SNSISC, you must be wondering, mana dia dapat murid? Okay, I have a program running with the local students, dan for this demo class, saya nak ucapkan terima kasih kepada students from Insta dan juga the two teachers, Puan Lili Hatini and Puan Rosnabila, for giving me the cooperation for so-called lending their students to me. Okay, so ini adalah hasil kerja murid-murid yang mereka buat secara live dan semua bekerja pada masa yang sama. So, yang ni kalau tengok lain warnanya, so kadang-kadang saya taggingkan juga supaya mereka ni, saya senang nak differentiate the different colours representing certain students or whatsoever. So, dia boleh klik saja mana-mana kat sini and then we can ask question. Kalau kita rasa these words are not suitable ke, or get them to share a bit more about the picture. So for example, you can ask the question, look at the shops. So mana tadi, one of the students answer, all the shops are closed. Okay, ask more questions so that they can generate ideas from there. So this is the foundation, what we're going to write in the next activity. So one is for brainstorming. So we can use collaboration space for brainstorming for ideas first. Okay, the next activity, once we have done that, perhaps what we can do is this time round, tadi individually, but working in the same space. So this time, the next activity is to generate the vocabulary. So what we can do is that, what I have done here, I have created 2 pages, 2 different pages for each group. There are only 4 students for this demo class, so I have divided them into pairs, okay, 2 pairs. So group 1 will be doing one task, group 2 will be doing another. Okay, what is the task? Okay, sini. So if you look at the instruction here, work as a group. Husna will be operating or will be doing say, okay, the word say, and Aina will be finding the synonyms for hold. Right, kenapa saya pilih say, hold, walk, run? Okay, because these are common verbs that are normally used in writing essays. But in order for our students to score, you cannot be repeating the same word. So here the exercise is to generate synonyms that the students can use as opposed to he said, balik-balik benda yang sama. Okay, so Husna will be doing say, Aina will be finding words for hold, while for the other group will be doing walk and run. Okay, so this is the product that they have come up with. Okay, that they have come up with. So kalau tengok Husna, dia dapat carilah all these words. Okay, all these words. Whole, yang ni. So as teacher, I can see what both groups are doing. But as students, they won't be able to see. So there needs a point for the students to come back. So the teacher has to bring back these two groups together and share what they have found out. So how do I do that? So saya akan gunakan Microsoft PowerPoint yang saya telah masukkan di dalam kelas notebook ni. So what I can do is, okay, saya klik dekat atas ni, so pergi dekat draw. So under draw, I can choose whether I want to use the pen or the highlighter. So what I did was, kita boleh get the students to, so siapa yang buat work tadi, can you please present, okay, your finding. So siapa, Hamizah, dia akan share lah, stroll, saunter, amble, tramp and so on. Okay, but at the same time, we also want them not only to just find the words, we also want them to find the meanings as well. So they have to be able to present lah apa ni. Ingat cikgu ya, kadang-kadang bila kita buat ni, masa tu kita kena tengoklah, just be aware of how much time the students could spend on each activity. Okay, alright. So we need to get back the students to share their findings. I find that if we let kita share screen kat sini, katalah saya share screen yang group 2 buat, group lain tu mungkin dia akan hanya copy balik without listening to what the students are presenting. So I would rather not show what the other group is doing, but get the students to present. Okay, alright. So that's activity 3 at word level. So cikgu nampak daripada individual working at the same space and then 2 different groups working at their own space. Tu guna collaboration space dalam Microsoft Teams ni. Okay, alright. So the next activity is that dia dah ada word, dia ada some idea. The next word activity could be, I would give them distribute, nak kata homework tu tak lah, okay, the task for the next one. So this time I'm not using the collaboration space, but I'm using the individual folder yang the students ada. So kita allocate dalam homework folder and they open the homework folder. So the task is this. Okay, so this is a sentence expansion. So the idea of this activity is for them to use the vocabulary that they have found just now in this exercise. So the basic sentence is, Shanti started to cry. Alright, so I want them to add information or sentence before, information or sentences after. Sebab some students, dia kalau kita bagi the title itself sedemuk macam tu, they will be put off. So kita buat benda ni in gradual, okay, slow macam ni. So we want them to replace the word cry. So this student has then tears begin to flow down her cheeks instead of saying cry. And then we add further adjective, we add further vocabulary or words that they have found just now. The idea for this exercise is dua lah. Satu, for them to use the verbs just now. The other one is I want them to concentrate on using the past tense correctly. Students will not be able to score if they cannot go beyond the accuracy of using the simple past. So ini kita control kat sini lah. Alright. So exercise that I've given them is that I look at my brother's pale face as water started to rise. The situation is still floods. Okay. So this is the outcome. Okay, what the students have written. Ini hasil kerja kalau tak silap Sofia. So saya masih menggunakan draw. Okay, so saya pilih dua fungsi. One, I use the highlighter. These highlighted words are the words that Husna or Sofia rather has used from the word list that they have found just now. Alright. the red pen is used to allocate, rather to indicate the wrong tense and then wrong verb choice. Okay, wrong verb form. Okay, all that. All right. After we have done that, we need to give feedback. Okay, students love stickers. Okay, so kalau kita nak buat stickers, nanti kita nak award them some sort of award. So what we can do is click dekat atas ni. Alright, so under insert, click dekat stickers ni, so you can find a lot of stickers where you can change the wordings and so on. So you put the sticker there. Alright, so okay, so there you go, stickers for the student. Alright, so this one we can change. So highlighted the words used. Alright, some error there, but needs to focus on the sentence structure. Okay, so this is how we give feedback or to monitor what we are doing with the students. Okay, all right. One thing, I have to go back here. One thing about, if you look at this one here, there's one feature in almost all Microsoft products is that immersive reader. Okay, immersive reader is very, very useful for the students to use if they want to look at certain words. For example, they can look at the meaning of certain words. You can also translate, okay, from English to Malay, Malay to English. I think about, I'm not quite a number of languages throughout the world that you can translate the language to. I don't encourage our students to use translate because sometimes it's not their own work, so we don't want that. We don't encourage that. What we can do is that we can use, ask them to use parts of speech where they can identify nouns, verbs, and so on. Okay, so I will deal with that later. Okay, so that's immersive reader. All right, so this is looking at the follow-up activity. So once we've done that, this in itself, the 3 activity or the 4 activities here will take about an hour. Nampak je senang, but I can tell you it will take about an hour or so. So enough for you to, for the day, for the students. So as an extension to this, what we can do, give a synchronous and asynchronous activity, homework, for example. So the homework is write about the day when it rained heavily, describe where you were, how you were rescued, and explain how that day changed your life. So that's the task homework. So they can do this asynchronously on their own, at their own pace, but the teacher has to make sure that the assignment is completed when it's due. Okay, so those are the things that we can do. All right, this is another example how we can use the collaboration space. So the same thing, we insert a picture in the collaboration space, and then the students will put their response there. Okay, this is one during, I think, one of the training that we did for Microsoft. So nampak kat sini ni, this is the text box that they can put their response. Okay, kalau students, jarang kot tapi mungkin ada, or teachers, if you have, if you are using touch screen and you have a pen, by all means you can write the response. No need to type. You can write. Tapi kalau you all guna cursor ni, right, kesianlah cikgu nak baca apa yang you all tulis tu. Okay, right. Now, at this point, okay, I am using language, teaching writing, to sample how you can use the collaboration space. Tapi dia tak bermaksud ini hanya untuk this subject bahasa saja. You can put to use for any other subject. Sebab prinsip dia sama je. To use this space as a brainstorm session to generate ideas and so on. Okay, so the next activity, what you can do is collaborate in writing one essay. So what I've done here is that saya letak kat sini, okay, dalam collaboration space so everybody can see this. But instead of using the collaboration space itself, saya bagi my students the link. Okay, nampak tak? Dia ada hyperlink tu. Okay, so I have given them the task. So group 1, paragraph 1, this person and this person. Okay, paragraph 2, group 2, siapa yang akan buat. So what they need to do is they click on the link and the link will lead you to Word. Okay, to Word di mana mereka boleh menaik. I prefer doing this on another window, dia buka another window sebabnya dia lancar sedikit daripada using it here. Dia lag sikit lah, but the function is still the same. Okay, alright. So this is what group 1 has done. Okay, so nampak ke sini dia dekat SharePoint. So everything will be stored in the cloud. So group 1, ini hasil kerja dia. Okay, so group 2, group 3, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, ini the other one pula. Okay, semasa kita, how do I say, when we are carrying out this activity, bear in mind that our students ni kadang-kadang they're more advanced than the teachers themselves. Okay, so they will open another window, they will Google or they will find materials for COVID-19 and then they will put as their own. But okay, as language teachers, as experienced language teachers, I'm sure all of you out there, kita tengok sekilas pun we already know that's not your words. Okay, those are not your words. Okay, so we need to inculcate in our students not to plagiarize, not to take other people's work as their own. Okay, alright. And tu kena inculcate. That is also another etiquette that we have to teach our students. Okay, alright. So this is the product. So when we're doing this, the teachers can monitor from group 1 to group 2 and so on. Okay, right. So those are among the things that we can do with our students using collaboration space in Microsoft Teams. Okay, all right. Now, how am I doing for time, Encik Zul?
Okay. So far, okay. So far, so good. We have about 50 minutes.
All right, okay, good. Timing dah okay, cantik. All right, now a bit of sharing, okay. Setiap tahun, sebagai SISC Plus, even before I was not SISC Plus, one of my major project with students at PPD level in Pekan is that the program Star A Plus. This program Star A Plus is for selected students that we target to get A Plus. Okay, so the 16 schools, secondary schools in Pekan are involved, plus another 4 schools, 4 agama schools and 1 MRSM, they'll be involved. So for this particular year, we set a record lah because of the MCO, we can't have the seminar face to face. All right. So for that matter, I was thinking, how am I going to do this? So I thought, why don't I use Microsoft Teams, put them in one space online, and we will carry out our workshop online. So this was done on the 30th of September, where 124 students were involved. Kalau secara face to face, normally I would only have about 70 odd students because kita students terpilih saja. But since it is done online, teachers added more students because it all depends on whether how many devices that the students or the school can provide. So some schools provided sampai 20 devices whatsoever. So these are among the students who were involved participating in the program, so Star A Plus. All right. Not only the students were involved, were collaborating, but these are among the teachers who were present during that time. Okay. So saya share, okay, saya fokus balik kepada team saya di sini. Okay, alright. Saya tengok. Okay. Nampak skrin saya, Encik Zul?
Yes.
Okay, alright.
Nampak.
So this is the class that I created. Okay, so the program is called Star A Plus Pekan 2020. So these are the names of the schools who are involved, 16 schools altogether. Tadi saya kata ada 4 plus 5 memang SM kan? Okay, if you notice, I am using the MOE account. So kalau MOE, those 5 schools, they don't have the MOE account. So I held another session for them. Okay, a special session for them. So these are all the schools involved. All right, so if we look at, okay, before that. All right, these are the teachers who are involved during the session. Now, if you look at that, ada 124 students. I will not be able to monitor all the students' work. So the task of the teachers are to monitor those students. It could be students from their school or from other school. So I will sometimes allocate who is going to look after which student. All right. And then these are some of the names of the students who are involved. So, okay, all 124 of them. It's during the session, it's undeniable there will be schools yang ada tenggelam timbul, you know, because of the internet line and so on. But don't let that stop you from coming up with programs and so on. Because if we have that barrier, or I cannot do this because line teruk lah, tak ada cukup ni, you will not get anywhere. So you have to start somewhere. So what I've done before the session was, I spent about half an hour to familiarize the students with Microsoft Teams, how to go about dia punya interface apa semua ni, class notebook apa semua, with the students. With the teachers, I created another group so that we can communicate and share materials. Nak kata berjalan dengan lancar tu tak jugalah, but we're taking small steps, okay, towards that. All right, so we have class notebook. All right, so this is the class notebook where the students will have the materials given to them. Okay, so the teachers here, okay, teacher only space and so on. So these are among the students. All right, so kalau saya buka the content library, okay. All right, these are among some of the materials that I put in the library where they can refer to. Macam past year analysis ni, they don't need to do any work on them. So tak ada benda lah. So they just can refer to the materials, past years. Perhaps they can get some inspiration how to write from there. This is also reference for teachers. Slot for summary writing. I didn't concentrate much on summary writing because that is quite straightforward. So this can be done at their own pace. What I concentrated on was this continuous writing, the answering techniques, and vocabulary building. All right. Okay. This technique I like using. Okay. Credit saya kena beri kepada Puan Jenny Ho, SISC Plus, who did this, who created this with her primary school when she was still in school, and I am currently using this with my students as well. So kalau kita boleh buat, kalau students yang ada pen tu, they can do scribble anything here that they want to write based on this. This is more for teknik menjawab literature. Okay, boleh juga digunakan untuk subjek lain. Okay, boleh digunakan untuk subjek lain. Juga boleh digunakan untuk generate ideas. Tapi if students follow this structure, insyaAllah the examiner can see clearly the structure that they have come up with. Okay, so these are among the things that I have done. Okay, let's look at the students' work. All right, So this is the task daripada 4 square tadi. Dia dah generate idea, they generated ideas, they generated the content, the details, the argument for the question, and then they will answer the question here. So this is only first paragraph. So from the structure kat situ, they will write here, and I can do the digital inking lah kat sini. So if I choose to, okay, so I can highlight, let's say, okay, kat sini, highlight his brave, for example. So brave is the characteristic given. So that would get the score for the student. So, and then, so the next one, when can this happen? So he has, this candidate, Fika, has put down the event. So during this event, Cecil suddenly called. So these are all the detail given. So kalau dia ikut the structure tadi, they will be able to answer accordingly. So this is what I have done with the students at PPD Pekan. I'm also using this platform, Teams ni, untuk share, because these people are targeted students. So I am sharing dia punya OTI, HC1 semua, they can see the progress. So from time to time, we hope to have our second and third session so that we can see the progress after percubaan and so on. Okay, that's one thing that I did lah. Okay, so these are among the classes that I have created with the teachers. So that's the Pekan District English panel. All right. So this one I did with Kota Perdana. I also have one for Pengetua Pekan. Okay. So we try to disseminate the materials, whatever materials we have with them, through Microsoft Teams. But at the moment macam sejuk-sejuk, panas kejap, sejuk. Okay. Gitulah. Alright, but it's okay. Okay. Alright. Okay. Right. So those are among the things that I have done. Okay, all right. We have about 5 minutes Q&A kan, Encik Zul? All right.
Yeah, betul.
Okay, so I think that's about all my sharing and so on regarding how we can use Microsoft Teams, the collaboration space especially to use how to teach them to writing. Okay. All right, and a little bit of sharing of what I've done at PPD level. So maybe those PPD officers out there can replicate what I've done at your district pun boleh, no problem. Okay, it's about sharing. Okay, all right. Shall I nak share ni sekarang ke lepas Q&A?
Boleh share pun.
Okay, all right. So since we have come to the end of our session, so bagi cikgu-cikgu out there yang dah biasa redeem code dekat Microsoft Education, education.microsoft.com, please redeem the code. Alright, check out what is online. You can learn a lot of things from the learning path that is created by Microsoft Education Center. Okay, get online, upskill yourself, equip yourself with the appropriate knowledge so that you can use this knowledge while you are experiencing this CMCO. Okay, alright. So sekiranya ada kekurangan mana-mana tu, that's my shortcomings, but the rest, the good things come from Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Kita ada soalan satu, Kak Ann.
Yes.
Okay, soalan daripada peminat setia, saya boleh katakan.
Cikgu
Wen Ann.
Okay.
Beliau ni memang selalu
ya, betul.
masuk.
Saya pun notice juga. Okay.
So beliau bertanya, apa cabaran dihadapi oleh pelajar dan puan tentang collaboration melalui Microsoft Teams? Mungkin boleh share sedikit lah pengalaman.
Okay. So daripada pengalaman yang setakat mana saya adalah cabaran yang pertama ialah internet line. Okay, because in order to use the collaboration space, you need to have the internet all the time. Sebab kalau tidak dia akan putus-putus. Kita rasa kita homework dah diberi, but then student type, dia kata dia dah type, but the sebab dia tak sync dengan apa yang kita punya interface dekat kita punya laptop. Okay, so kita akan nampak lah dia punya tengah
Buffer.
sync running. Tapi itu cabaran yang pertama lah, line. Di Pekan, a few schools kadang-kadang tertanya-tanya juga, some schools they are located in the nak kata rural areas, okay? Ada yang dapat line, tapi kadang-kadang ada juga yang tepi jalan, susah nak dapat line.
Oh, yes, happen.
Kan?
Dekat town pun macam tu pun ada.
Ya, memang ya. Okay.
Tak apa, yang penting kita usaha dan cubalah.
Yes, okay. So sekiranya if you think that you can't do your online learning, okay, there are other things that you can do. Okay, sebab kita sebagai cikgu tak ada cikgu yang mahu anak muridnya gagal. Kita akan cuba sedaya upaya to get them to be involved in our teaching and learning process.
Ya, betul. Okay, soalan so mostly kata baguslah, ni inovasi antara kolaborasi PPD sekolah dan juga murid. Kita boleh tengok kat sini bukan saja antara murid dan guru, tetapi antara PPD, sekolah dan juga murid. Itu satu inovasi yang baik lah, yang boleh dijadikan sumber inspirasi bagi yang PPD lain. Okay, jadi saya rasa masa dah sampai. Terima kasih atas perkongsian Miss Ann. Saya kembalikan semula kepada moderator kita pada hari ini, iaitu Cik Hafiz. Silakan.
Okey, terima kasih Miss Ann dan juga Cik Zul ya. Saya ucapkan tahniahlah kepada PPD Pekan ya. Ini sebelum ni kita tengok 2 layer je, maksudnya antara murid dan juga guru di sekolah kan. Tapi kali ini kita tengok satu amalan yang terbaik lah, antara bagaimana melibatkan PPD sama. Okay. Jadi kita tengok secara konsep ni yang dia kata berpusat lah kiranya kan. Jadi yang ini mungkin boleh dijadikan contoh lah kepada PPD yang lain, terutama PPD di Kuala Lumpur ni lah. Kita ada 3 PPD. Okay. Jadi semoga perkongsian yang kita dapat kongsi bersama pada hari ini melalui webinar ni dapat diambil manfaat lah, sama ada di peringkat sekolah ataupun dan juga PPD lah terutamanya untuk kebaikan anak murid kita di sekolah. Okay, so SSCP JPKM mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Miss Ann dapat meluangkan masa untuk berkongsi ilmu juga amalan terbaik di PPD Pekan dengan KL ni. Okey, terima kasih. InsyaAllah nanti kita kalau ada peluang dan ruang nanti kita akan jemput lagi insyaAllah. Terima kasih juga Encik Zul, Sifu daripada Microsoft.
Tak adalah, saya pun banyak belajar dengan guru-guru, pegawai-pegawai daripada MOE ni sendiri.
InsyaAllah kita sama-sama belajar 6 slot pertama Microsoft dan juga guru-guru lah Malaysia daripada 9 dan sebagainya lah. Okey, so untuk itu sekian kita webinar kita pada kali ini, pada petang ini 2.30 hingga 3.30 ni InsyaAllah tuan-tuan dan puan, malam ini kita akan ada persiaran juga pukul 9 malam dan marathon tadi kita kata sampai minggu depan.
Betul.
Okey. Terima kasih.
Okey, bye semua. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.